Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. My name is Simi and I'm a chartered accountant. I'll be teaching you business studies of class 12th. So today we are going to cover nature and significance of management, chapter 1 of business studies. Before we start any chapter, we need to categorize into several categories whatever there are. So in this chapter, we are going to learn management, its definition, that what is management. Second thing that we are going to learn is characteristics of management, the objectives of management, nature of management, importance of management, functions and levels of management. Apart from this, we are also going to cover what is coordination, characteristics of coordination and importance. So before we start, we need to learn what is management. Management is the art of getting things done through others, effectively and efficiently with the aim of achieving organizational objective. So what we understand by this? It means मैनेजमेंट इज़ प्रेजेंट एवरीवेयर. मैनेजमेंट हर कोई कर रहा होता है. कोई नॉर्मल रिटेल शॉप है तो वहाँ पे भी मैनेजमेंट हो रहा है. अगर मैनेजमेंट नहीं होगा तो लोग रिटेल शॉप पे आउट ऑफ स्टॉक हो जाएगा. देयर वोंट बी मैनेजमेंट, तो प्लानिंग, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग, ये सारी एक्टिविटीज़ में प्रॉब्लम आएगी. It combine, whenever we write about management, we have to write the main 3 points, that it is the art of getting things done through others and effectively, efficiently with the aim of achieving organizational objective. Now we have to understand what is effectively and efficiently. Effectively means getting things done. Effectively basically focuses on end result, that we need to complete the task within the given time. So what if, for example, in an organization they have to produce 5,000 units within 10 days. So completing the task within 10 days is effectiveness. Then what it means by efficiency? Efficiency means completing the given task with the utilization of optimum utilization of resources. It focuses on the process. So as we saw, effectively and efficiency, we need it in combination. We cannot focus on one and ignore the other. We have to have both in the organization. Only then we will be able to achieve organizational objective. For example, our organization is able to complete the task within the given time limit, but they are misusing the resources or they are wasting the resources. That means management has failed there, because we completed the task with effectiveness but we forgot about efficiency. So we have to complete the task effectively and efficiently. Now we are going to learn about the characteristics of management. Characteristics of management basically comprises of goal orientation, pervasiveness, multidimensional, continuous, group activity, dynamic function, intangible. So now we'll understand each one by one. First is goal orientedness. Management helps to achieve I'll repeat again. Goal oriented. So can we cut it? So first we are learning about goal oriented. Management is goal oriented. Every organization exists for some basic purpose. For example, a hospital exists to treat its patient. School exists to provide great education for its student. Same way, every organization exists to perform some activity. That activity is converted into goal, and management is a goal oriented activity. Management is pervasive. What do you mean by pervasive? Pervasive means that management is applicable to all organization, whether it's social, economic or political. Management is applicable to all the organization. Now we'll understand what is multidimensional. As we know, multidimensional means, as you have heard of, 3D. So same way, management is also have 3 dimensions. First is work, second is people, third is operation. So management is multidimensional. It consists of work, people and operations. What do you mean by work? Work means management comprises of various activities. So all organization exist for some operations. Those operations are in the work. Second is people. No organization can function without people. People are the greatest asset of an organization. Without people, an organization cannot function. So the second dimension is people. Now the third dimension is operation. Now operation is the combination of work and people. Every organization function to achieve some objectives. Those objectives can be achieved by performing some functions. Those functions are operation, which combine work and people. Now the third is management is continuous. Management comprises of several functions like planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Those functions are continuous in nature. So management is a continuous process. Fifth point is management is a group activity. As we know, management consists of several people. All those individuals work together to achieve the organizational goals. So they perform in group to achieve the organizational goals. Sixth is dynamic function. As we know, organization exists in the external environment, and external environment keeps changing. So if to survive in the external environment, organization have to be dynamic. So management helps an environment to be dynamic. Last one is management is intangible. What do you mean by intangible? Intangible basically means that we cannot see management, but we cannot feel when there is a mismanagement. For example, in an organization, there is no management. They are purchasing the stock, but there is nobody who is calculating how much stock they received. There is nobody who is supervising the workers. Then we can feel the chaos in the management. That is because management is intangible. But when there will be management, it will be very easy to feel the coordination. So we can say management is an intangible. Second category that we are going to study is objectives. Objective consists of three broad categories: organizational objective, social objective, individual objective. Now, what do we understand by organizational objective? Organization basically exists to basically achieve the following objectives. That is to survive, profit, growth. These are the organizational objectives. What do you mean by survival? When we talk about survival, we means that organization is able to achieve the revenue is equal to the cost that incurred. So when an organization only able to achieve this much, that means they are surviving. If they are not able to achieve this much, then they will go out of business. When their revenue is less than cost, that means now they will go out of business. Second objective of organizational is profit. What do we mean by this? Profit helps an organization to grow. If there won't be any profit, they won't be able to survive for a very long period of time. So profit means that the revenues are more than the cost. Now the last of organizational objective is growth. What do we mean by growth? Growth means that organization is able to achieve revenue are more than cost and they are able to grow. If the organization growth can be calculated in various forms, like there is increase in sales, increase in employment opportunities, etc. Under management objective, the second one is social objective. An organization have to perform certain social activity to achieve the social objective. What could be the social objective? The basics are that organization will perform, will give employment to the underprivileged people, provide certain activity to help in upliftment of the society. So these are the broad category of social objective under organization. Now there are certain individual objectives also. Here individual objective means the objectives of the individual. As we learned so far that organization consists of people and every people is different, so well their needs. Every individual join an organization with the different objectives. For example, an individual who is from a poor background must have joined the organization for the finance support. On the other hand, other person may have joined for the challenging activities that are going on in the organization that he is interested in. So individual objectives can be first, the person who have joined the organization due to the finance support, we can provide them salaries and perks, competitive salaries and perks. The other person who have social needs, we can give them self-respect, we can provide them self-respect and peer recognition. Now, the person who have joined the organization for personal development, we can help that person by providing training, challenging job work, etc., which can help them for self-development. Now we'll understand the nature of management. Now, there are various questions that have been asked in exams where they ask, discuss whether management is a science or an art. At that time we have to put these several points and we have to discuss them. So first we will discuss nature of management as a science. So as we know, in science there is a body of knowledge. Body of knowledge means there are certain books, certain examples, certain experiments and results. In science there is a body of knowledge as well as in management. So this points holds true. Now the second one is experimentation. Science based on experimentation and result. The science experiments result never vary because they are always accurate. On the other hand, the management principles are applied on people. So we can say they vary according to the person to person. The result cannot be same all the time. So this point does not hold true here. Not true. Now there is a universal validity in case of science rules, as well as in the rules of management are also universally valid. But there is one thing that the management principles are universally valid, but how every manager apply them vary according to the situation. So we cannot say that this point does not hold true here. So we can say management is not an exact science. Not an exact science, but it is a social science or inexact science. Now we will discuss nature of management as an art. As we know, in art there are also certain theoretical knowledge available, the basics that every person learn. Though they are same, but their applicability vary according to the person to person. So there is theoretical knowledge in art as well as in management. So this principle holds true here. Now the second characteristic is personalized application. As we understood that every person, though they learn the same basic, they apply it according to themselves and according to the situation they are in. So this principle also holds true in management. So management is also a personalized application. Then the third point is practice and creativity. As we know, in art, the more we practice, the more good we will become. Same goes with management. As the manager grow old and their experience increase, they also become perfectionists in the same. So this principle also hold true. As these all three principles are here, so this is an art. Management is an art. Now the third thing that we are going to discuss is profession. Management nature as a profession. So as we know in profession there is also a theoretical knowledge. So this principle hold true in all the three things, science, art as well as profession. Now the second point is there is a restriction in entry in profession. Restriction in entry. Though there is restriction in entry in profession, there is no such thing in case of management. So this principle does not hold true for management. The second thing that we'll discuss here is a code of conduct. As we know, in all kind of profession, there is various code of conduct. For example, in case of doctors, they take an oath that they will treat their patient ethically. But there is no such code of conduct for managers. So this principle does not hold true here. Now the third we will study that there is a association. In case of profession, there is an association available. For example, in chartered accountant, for chartered accountants, there is Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, which draw some code of conduct, issue certificates, etc. But there is no such association available for managers. So there is AIMA, but that is not legal yet. Not legal, that means that is not registered it or association. Now we have seen that though management is not profession yet. Management is not a profession because it does not follow the rules that are given for the profession, for something to be called as profession. Now we'll learn about the importance of management. What are the importance of management? So basically the very first importance of management that we have learned in the definition also, that it first importance of management is it helps in achieving goal of an organization. As we understood by now that every organization exists to perform certain activity, and management helps to achieve that goal. For example, a factory exists to produce certain products in a certain duration. With the help of management, they can achieve their organizational goal. Now the second one is increased efficiency. Management helps to increase efficiency. When there will be no management, the efficiency will decrease as there will be chaos in the whole organization, which on the contrary, when there will be management in the organization, they will be able to achieve the goals effectively and efficiently. Efficiency basically means with the optimum utilization of resources, they will be able to achieve the organizational goal. Now the third one is management helps in creating a dynamic organization. What do you mean by dynamic organization? Dynamic means an organization which is able to cope up with the challenges that are there in the external environment. For example, McDonald's change their menu according to the country they are in, according to the country, their taste, they do certain research, and according to that they change their menu. Like for example, in India they didn't sell beef because they did their research and understood that we pray to cow, and that won't be something that would be pleasing for Indians. So we have understood that management helps in creating a dynamic organization. Management also helps in achieving personalized objectives. As we understood, management is an organization consists of several individuals. All individuals must have joined the organization according to their personal objectives. Management helps to achieve those personal objectives. Now, the last one is development of society. Management also helps in the development of society by providing education to the underprivileged children, by providing employment, by development of the society, etc. Now we will learn about the functions of management. There are 5 functions of management. First one is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. So let's revise whatever we have studied so far. So first we understood what is management. So management definition अपन लोगों ने देख लिया है. Then we understood about the terms of that we understood the words effectively and efficiently, that it is basically completing the task, and with the end result it is focuses on the end result. Then we understood efficiency, it is a process and it focuses on the optimum utilization of resources. Then we saw the characteristics of management. Characteristics of management basically are goal oriented, pervasive, multidimensional, continuous, group activity, dynamic function and intangible. Second thing that we saw was objectives. Objective basically comprises into 3 broad categories, that is organizational objective, social objective and individual objective. Under organizational objective we learned that they have 3 broad categories, that is survival, profit and growth. We learned the social objective and then individual objective. Third thing that we saw was nature of management, which is as a science, art and profession, the conclusion of which is management is an art but not an exact science. It's a social science or inexact science. It is not a profession but on the way of being a profession. Then we learned the importance of management, which is management helps in achieving organizational goal, increased efficiency, help in creating dynamic organization, help in achieving personalized objectives and development of society. Now we are finally learning the functions of management. Under functions of management, we will discuss these into the coming chapters also. Planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. Under planning, we set the various goals that we need to achieve in an organization. Under organization, we see what are the resource requirement we have to achieve the plan that we have made. Under staffing, we hire the right people for the right job. Under directing, we guide those people and resources to achieve the organizational objective. Last one is controlling. Under controlling, we see that were we able to achieve our goal or not. If we are not able to achieve our goal, we implement certain control and again we go back to planning. So it is a continuous process. Now the levels of management. There are 3 levels of management: top level, middle level and lower level. Under top level, there are executives who meet the plan for the organization. These executives can be called by different names like chief executive officer, chairman, director, etc. They make the plans and various strategies. Now the second level is middle level managers. What does they do? They work as a link between the top level and lower level. Middle level managers could be branch manager, etc. They also implement the plans that are made by top level executives. Now the lower level. Under lower level, there are supervisor who guides the workers to achieve the plans that are made by top executives. So now we have completed the whole chapter, only left with coordination characteristics and importance. I hope you all understand that. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel.